Okay. Are we recording on yours?
You're recording on mine? Did you press that
camera?
button? Yes, yes, and yes.
It is what it is. We should do like you know how they do the previews?
The bloopers.
Stop saying that, okay? You don't understand marketing. And then be like,
Stop yelling at me!
See what Corrie said? That was so bad.
I think we've tried that too many times using the podcast. Like,
You'll
can
never
you believe
guess.
what the twin said?
It did work. Tammy Gunnels posted about it.
She
Tammy had gone to the group and she had said, I can't believe the twin would have said that on the YouTube channel. And I was like, what did we say? But she had written me an email. She's like, I just want to let you know, I was just kidding.
Marketing works on us too.
You got me. Okay, Corrie, tell us what this is.
Welcome to the Baking It Down with Sugar Cookie Marketing Podcast. What we are just your hosts in this world we call baking. I'm Corrie, and the other face over there is Heather. What we are is the admins of a sugar cookie marketing group. It's on Facebook. There's about 47-ish, 48-ish thousand bakers in there. And each week, I said, you know what, Heather? I like to listen to podcasts. And Heather said, no, I don't think so. And I said, okay, good. We'll be doing a podcast. And here we are 3 years later doing a podcast.
It's funny, in the intro, you talk kind of like this, but when you get to the intro, you like drop an octave and you're like, and in the sugar cookie marketing group, you'll find everything you need to survive in this life.
You know what? One thing I'm good at is sales. And you need a sales force.
I wish I knew you when you were selling cars.
I was a shell.
Hey, would you like a sporty car?
No, because I used to be like, do you want a car? And like people weren't buying for me, and I was like, hey, do you want a car?
Listen, you need to sell something. You're suddenly going to find your voice.
You're going to sell your soul. Sell your soul.
Which takes us to today's topic. Something I posted about in the group, and Corrie thought it was a great topic to lean in on, and I must agree. What are you going to Diet Coke?
Do you want me to run and get it while you discuss?
Yes, while you run and
I'll
get
run
it.
with the might of God behind me.
Okay, there she goes, boys. Give me an extra cold one from the back. There's a huge Diet Coke addiction in this family. My dad was really worried about our consumption of sugary drinks, so he was like, I don't know if you guys, dating myself, Twister, the red juice drink. We always had a bottle of Twister in our family. It was my favorite thing to drink. And then Dad read some article somewhere, and then he was like, guys, no more Twister. It's full of sugar. He's one of those guys. Still is. And then he was like, and we said we have to have a compromise because water's not cutting it. And then he's like, you guys can drink Diet Coke, which created the hell we live in now.
Nice.
Oh, listen to that. Hold on. It's going to be a first one. Oh,
that was a good one. A Diet Coke actually exploded in my hand the other day.
I saw
it was in the back of the fridge and had frozen. So I left it up and said, "Hey, look, it's so oblong." And then it did.
Oh, that you knew it was going to explode.
I said, ah!
She died doing what you loved.
All right, let me pop mine up and we'll go back.
That was a good one.
Yeah,
crispy.
yeah.
So back to the topic. Valentine's Day was last week, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people loved their sales.
They did. There were a lot of pre-sales going on.
And just as many hated their sales. So what happens is they come to the group and we have that ever pervasive daily question, are your sales low like mine? Does anyone else feel like their sales are low this year?
Yes.
Or that their leads are slow, or that something is a negative. It always has a negative connotation. What the problem is, it's kind of like, and if you believe in what psychics, or people who can read your palms, they'll create
Palm
a really
readers.
broad. Yeah, you are going to go to the bank today, unfortunately.
Mine. You are very hungry.
Yeah. You like that? You need to use more moisturizer.
You do.
They do these broad stroke things like, I feel like you had a bad day.
Yeah.
Have you had a bad day?
I have.
I feel like you got stuck in traffic on the way here. Okay. Yeah. Kind of the same thing with those negative, hey, does anybody else feel like their sales are slow? The only people who are going to comment are people with slow or low sales.
Yeah, or people who are on the fence and they're like, oh, yep.
You know
she
what?
said, you know what?
Now that you bring that up, I have had low sales. So what happens is it's a breeding ground for negativity.
Yeah.
It's not a breeding ground for solutions, though.
Unfortunately, there's no like groundbreaking theories going on in the comments. Me and Heather have been in business for a long time. And one thing that we know, what goes up must come down. You can't have perpetual growth. better growth. It doesn't work that way.
I was just talking about it this morning. I was at a restaurant the other day. Sitting next to me, kind of an annoying guy. I catch his name. It was a client we used to have. And I looked at him and I said, we've never met before, but we have dealt with each other in email. And you were kind of terrible. Whatever, you apologize. But what Corrie and I said is the problem when we deal with clients is we say, listen, you're going to feel like exponential growth because we're getting started from nothing.
Yes.
You're going to feel like this is going to be light years. We're moving at the speed of everything is coming together, likes, comments, whatever, subscribers. And then it's going to feel slow because comparatively speaking, it's leveled out. We brought you to where you needed to be.
Yeah.
And now that growth will be very gradual.
You're like, but I didn't change anything. You didn't change anything. You went from nothing to something. Now from something to something feels a little bit different. You're saying, but I didn't change anything. It must be everybody else. There's too many bakers. The market's saturated.
Egg price. And then you can create your self-fulfilling prophecy of you'll go out of business. So I wrote this in the group. If you compare yourself, let's say someone sold 50 units and you sold 30 units, you would look at that and I'm shrinking by 16%.
Yeah.
But if you looked last year and you sold, 20 units and now you sold 50 units, something like that, you would actually see that you've increased by, 33%.
Exactly.
And it's the perspective of comparing yourself to the baker next door versus comparing yourself to where you were last year.
Yeah.
Now somebody entered the comments and they had a great question. They said, I've sold fewer units this year than last year. So where am I at on this? Well, fortunately, they were in the cookie college. So I've seen where they put their time and energy. And I said, you sold classes. And they were like, oh, yeah, I actually started selling classes this year. So I didn't sell any customs. But I've sold out 3 classes.
Yeah, your focus. Heather loves to say this, and we say it to the clients when we're onboarding, is we say, what do you want out of this? And they'll be like, we had one lady who said, I want to show my ex-husband I'm successful without him.
Still my most favorite answer to that question today.
Because I was like, we can do that.
She said, I never changed my name after the divorce and I want him to be annoyed because it shows up so often.
Yeah. So some of our clients have been like, I want to grow my social media numbers, or I want more SEO. And we say, where you water, it will grow. You're not going to grow everywhere because you're not watering everywhere. If you focused on classes in this Valentine's Day, you watered there. You posted a lot of content. You made a lot of sign up, a lot of FOMO around that. So where you watered grew. You had signups and you taught classes. Where you did not water did not grow. But you can't be like, okay, I'm done watering my classes.
Where did all my customs go?
I know. So you have to give yourself grace in business. It can't always be this negative downturn.
Right. And even more interesting to this question, somebody else entered the comments and said, I actually sold fewer this year than I did last year. And it was only the same thing I watered. Asterisk, and this was Mike Skyring, he was like, but per unit I made more. So I was able to work less and make more this year. And that right there is success.
That is success. If you charge more and you get fewer orders, but you make the same,
that's still moving forward. It just looks different.
It feels different. But at the end of the day, if you crunch the numbers, you were just as successful.
Okay, so we got a couple different options here. Odds are you increased your sales from last year to this year. That's a win. Odds are you watered different ground and that increased this year from last year, and that's a win. Odds are you charged more but sold less and still made more this year. That's a win. And then you have the person who's like, I did everything you guys said and I sold less.
Yeah.
What happened? And that's where you get to do a root cause analysis, because what happened is something in your marketing shifted.
Yeah.
Or, and if you guys want to do, well, the market got saturated. I'm going to tell you right now, the market saturation from COVID, year 1, to today, so many people have gotten out of the business.
Yeah.
I love that it's the go-to excuse because it's the one we can't touch unless we murder people. We can't. Market saturation is easy because you can blame everyone but yourself.
Yeah.
In fact, that's what it is. Saying the market is saturated means it's everyone else's fault.
Yeah. I think a big proponent of why maybe people saw fewer sales is because social media had more of a harder reach, because a lot of people, when TikTok stopped, Facebook started a lot of these payment programs. Like you had the Reels bonus program and all those things. So a lot of people are like, well, let me invest my time in something that isn't going away. TikTok's still on the chopping block. So people are still investing into Facebook.
You can download it again. I downloaded it.
I sent that to Heather. So a lot of people are using Facebook, meaning your reach is now even less than it was before. That is a factor there.
There's many factors, right? So we had an election year, which meant that October and November reach was down. After November, we're in Black Friday sales territory. All those companies who couldn't spend, competing with the campaign money, are now just throwing money at the problem.
Yeah.
And now, okay, we're back into kind of a more level playing field. The elections are over, Black Friday's over, and now we're in kind of a more homeostasis, right? But then it's a J month. It's January. It's these slower months. And now bakers are like, well, this looks terrible. And remember, we always say the months following the Super Bowl, that is December, in the cookie world, look drastically slower.
Yeah.
If it didn't feel slower, something's wrong. It should feel so much slower because it's almost like December. If you guys go to trends.google.com and search sugar cookie, December is 10 times the search results than it is the rest of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have a lot of bakers take off in January and come back for, you'll never guess it, Valentine's Day.
I asked an interesting question in the group this past week, and I said, if you had to make one more sale this week, you had to do it, what would you do? And the brainstorming, the geniusness in these comments, because if you could sell one more, what would you do? And everyone's like, here's what I do. I do that. I would offer a discount. I'd knock on a door. I'd go to a networking event. That's such a different perspective than is anyone else's feel like they're slow. Their sales are slow this year.
I was talking to Heather, and my analogy was bakers are easy. They finished all of their either classes, if they focus on classes, their pre-orders, if they did pre-orders, and looked at it and been like, where are my customs? We're on a boat. Your business is we're on
an aircraft carrier.
Of a boat? Oh, yes.
Yeah, they take forever to turn.
Yes. When you are, it's easy to look around right and left and say, oh, where's my sale? Where's my sale? Since we're on a boat, if you want to turn left and you are manning a boat, it is a process. It's not this one right ever. It's like, people, turn the sail.
I think there's a fact. You can keep, how long does it take to turn an aircraft carrier around? I'm not the first person to Google this, thank goodness. It takes 5 minutes to turn the boat around, right? That's forever in terms of turning, right?
But when we pop off our heads from our customs in our classes, it's so easy to turn around and be like, but where's this? Where's that?
And then you get whiplash because you're like, why isn't that working? Why is that? And then it creates that angst, that anxiety of nothing's working. But you're turning around. When you're turning around, you're going nowhere, right?
Yeah.
You're going in nowhere. You're making no forward progress. But you're like, nope, it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. That's not working. What the twin said isn't working. None of it's working. It's everybody else's fault.
Yeah. But if you focused on classes and your customers saw that you were doing classes, you posted about your classes, you posted a recap of the classes, your audience is now in tuned with you selling classes. But where's my custom orders? They're still in the classes. They're taking 5 minutes to turn around from classes, and they need you to guide them back to your custom orders. But I see so many people pop up and they're like, but my sales are bad because I have no customs coming out of Valentine's Day that was super successful. And it's because it takes a hot minute. Anytime we've had a client and they're like, yeah, I want more followers, I can't be like, and bam, you have 100.
We can buy them, but you'll never buy anything from you.
It takes a lot of time to have a new initiative. You have to train your audience. And it's not, like I started selling cake pops last year. Just now am I getting reoccurring orders. But it's taken so much time to associate my name with cake pops. It wasn't overnight, unfortunately. But if I would have started off as a cake pop baker, I would have had cake pop sales right off the bat. It's because my audience that we've cultivated is used to what I'm showing them. So to introduce something new or to bring something back, it's very hard to just turn that switch and be like, okay, buy for me.
I think it's only fair that we tell them the truth.
Okay, tell them.
Okay. I know that we preach filling up classes and stuff, and I unfortunately, Corrie and I have sold 0 tickets. As of yesterday, we had sold 0 tickets to classes, and it's because of market saturation. I'm just kidding. It's because we hadn't posted them yet, right? And I hadn't marketed them at all. In fact, we had filled up our December class back in August of 2024, and I proceeded to not market at all because my heart wasn't in it. We had sold that class. I tell Corrie, we'll figure out a way. So yesterday I sat down and we posted 4 classes, 1 December, 1 October, 1 August, and 1 April. Yeah. We've sold 6 tickets out of 10 tickets to the April class. If we sold 0 today, I would have been like, that matches the effort I put in at the end of last year.
But it's so easy to post them, not make a sale, and be like, does anyone feel like it's really slow? No, I want to be like,
Heather, if I had posted yesterday.
Did you not market it?
Imagine I had posted those 4 classes yesterday, which I did around 7 p.m.
Yeah.
And then I go to the group and I say, anybody else feel like ticket sales are slow for cookie classes?
Yeah.
I think it's the curriculum. I think it's market saturation. I think when I went to post the cookie class, which is a cookie class kit, Corrie and I teach the same things we sell. I saw somebody else teaching the same class. And we're at double their price. And I still sold 6 tickets.
Yeah.
I still did.
Heather knows. Sometimes I wake up and I'm a pessimist. You know, everything's
Corrie
wrong.
keeps me grounded. I'm the sun, Corrie's a cloud.
But if I wake up and I look at my business through a pessimistic lens, it will be bad. The market is saturated. No one's buying classes. My customs aren't working. People aren't reaching. No one's commenting. And then I will be stuck in a pessimistic outlook on everything. But if I take a step back, I had my tried and truest customer order 52 conversation hearts. I can't say that it was a bad day.
Huh?
No, she bypassed everything, got to me. I got her in. We got it done. It was fantastic. It was a great sales day for that. But I can look at something and be like, well, my classes didn't sell out in a day. Well, girl, you didn't post them but yesterday.
Wow. So it's a lot of that introspection. And that's what I want to challenge folks here. So like, one, use the correct metrics. Compare yourself to yourself last year. Don't compare yourself to the baker over there. Our cost of living here is tremendously different than your cost of living there. Our price per ticket is so much higher because it costs so much to do anything in this area. So don't compare. Well, the twins sell each ticket for $85 and I can pull 40. We're not playing the same game. Your property taxes are not my property taxes, right? Don't, do the wrong metric. Don't compare the wrong data set. Then make an honest thing. What did you water? Did that grow? So let's compare the right thing. And then say, were you able to charge more and work less? That's the right one. And then this one, okay, I did all those others. That wasn't it. Then let's actually look at what your efforts were. Let's take some accountability here. And I think accountability is important because if you don't take accountability, you don't have to change. If you don't change, guess what doesn't change? Your sales.
I know that people love to say the twins never think it's market saturation. Yeah, at the end of the day, there's one thing you can control. It's you and your business. You cannot control the market. You cannot control how saturated it is.
We get a great perspective living in Washington, D.C., that there is no such thing as market saturation because there's so many. If Corrie and I wanted to get sushi right now, there are within probably 30-minute drive, I would say well over 100 sushi restaurants. And they're all still in business.
Yeah.
Some are fantastic. Some will be closing tomorrow, and some have been here for 30 years.
Yeah.
So we are able to be like, there's so many Toyota dealerships. There's so many sushi restaurants. We live in this kind of, they call it the mixing bowl. That's why Corrie's company is called the mixing bowl.
Yeah.
We live in this mixing bowl of opportunity because there's a lot of people. So market saturation isn't a thing. It's market segmentation that allows you to set yourself apart.
But I think when you don't think and say, there are 22 fast food different chains around me, you can say, well, I think people are just tired of eating food. They're done eating.
That's the solution.
They don't want to eat anymore, so they're not ordering.
Not interested in eating.
But you got to think, at the end of the day, you can control one thing, and it's you and your business. You can't control the people around you, but everyone eats multiple times a day. People have birthdays literally every day of the year. They're always trying to celebrate. It could be coming down to the way that you price.
Right.
You could be priced too low. And then you're the most expensive of the cheapest. Yeah. It could be that maybe your photography isn't on point with a higher end pricing.
I agree.
That's something we can absolutely work on.
You can't charge a ton and have a really shoddy picture.
Right. Maybe it's your copy. Sometimes the copy is not compelling, making me feel like FOMO, I'm going to miss out if I don't get this.
I'm going to say ease of ordering is a big one.
Is a big one.
Corrie, when she doesn't want to take orders, makes it hard to order.
Yeah.
Because she knows it stops orders.
It stops orders. If I wanted to make it easy, you're going to best believe that link is going to be in my copy. It's going to be in my caption. I'm going to be talking to myself in the comments.
I contacted 2 doctors' offices, right? And I contacted them the same day, and I used the exact same copy in their online submission, right? They both had online. One was more complicated. The other one was like, just click send.
Yeah.
The more complicated one took me forever, but it would said, hey, after you submit this, you'll definitely hear from us in 24 hours. 72 hours later, they did reach out to tell me that availability, that appointment I set, it's no longer available.
Okay.
Then they contacted me again today. I immediately hung up because you know who contacted me first? Right. That other office. They were super friendly, super accommodating. I was talking to a real person. And I told her, Tracy, I said, I don't know who considers your bonuses, but you have been so much more responsive than the other office I've reached out to. And I think that's also a differentiator. But we're like, we hate our clients, but why won't our clients order from us? Yeah. We're mean to our clients and we wonder why they don't come back.
Yeah. But then you're so quick to be like, well, the market's saturated. Look, there's too many doctors around here. Not enough sick people.
Yeah.
So it's just easy to cast blame on things we can't control because when we can't control it, that means we're not at fault for it. At the end of the day, it's really hard to look internally and be like, well, you know what? I did kind of rush that photo. That post I just did willy-nilly. I was super proud of the cookie, so I just posted it up, not thinking if my audience was online. I didn't check my stats and my insights to know that, Wednesday isn't the busiest day, or I posted on Independence Day. No one was online. They were all trying to be outside at their barbecues or things. It's really hard to look internally. But at the end of the day,
it's egg on your face, and the only person to put the egg there is you.
Yeah.
Corey and I have a marketing meeting every Monday with Miracles. So we had the yesterday, and it's like, okay, hey, what have we been doing well? Okay, what are our weak spots? I call it a SWOT, SWOT analysis in business, right?
Yeah.
So where are weak spots? What we didn't say is like, well, everybody else is trying to sell the same cookie college we are, so I guess just back it up, kids.
Yeah, there's too many cookie class kids out there.
Yeah. No, we said, okay, this is something that we haven't been doing very well, is we've not been super engaging in the sugar cookie marketing group. We haven't been, boots on the ground. We've been more of this admin, like air traffic control, instead of like value added. Let's strategize here. Let's work here. So we're like, okay, well, that's our own shortcoming.
At the end of the day, that's all you can control. So you better hope it's your own shortcoming, because if it's not.
Yeah, if you can control it, you can control it.
I know.
That means you can make it go up and down. If it's out of your control, that's the death sentence.
Yeah. I think a lot of times we are like, but I'm posting it to my social media. At the end of the day, if you aren't growing your social media, it's the same 400 people that you're talking to. At the end of the day, they maybe buy from you once a year, for a kid's birthday or something like that. You are like, well, I'm posting and no one's buying. But are you working on the growth part of your business? There's two separate ones. There's cultivating your audience and growing your audience. They're not the same thing. Are you only posting the same copy every Saturday on a sales post in the group and never coming back to grow the relationship with the group? Well, then I can tell you that you're a poster and a ghoster, And that's so easy to do. And it feels like, no, I am marketing. I'm posting that. Are you going to the meetups? I hate going to in-person meetups. But do they work? They work. They do work.
Corey could have been the poster child for an
I could have been the poster child. I went to absolutely everyone for years, and people associated me. They knew my name, and that was great. And then I got busy. And you know what I stopped doing?
Stop going.
Stop going.
And that's an absolutely fine trade. There's only so many hours in the day. But Corey and I will be like, she'll be like, what happened to that initiative that you had? And I was like, oh, I got busy. She's like, well, you're not going to meet your goals. And I said, absolutely I'm not. And that's my own choice.
But to take that and to say, that is my choice. I know that I am doing that. That takes a lot.
Yeah.
It's an L.
Taking a loss. Man.
We love to kick cans down the road over here. We don't want to abandon initiative, but we'll scooch it down just a little ways farther away.
Yeah.
And that's okay to do. But
as long as you make a conscious effort that
Yes.
this was done by me.
Yes.
And I've made this choice, and the results of this choice are ones I'm willing to live with.
Yeah. If you are out there and you're like, my custom order form says I'll respond in 48 hours, totally fine. But at the end of the day, your competition is responding in 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. So when you're like, but I keep getting ghosted, they're asking, and I'm getting back in the 48 hours. Like, if you want to be booked and busy and blessed, you got to put the effort booked and busy and blessed, because your competition is doing it.
Consider the 2 appointments. Had Tracy never messaged me, the 72-hour response would have been the one I went with.
Yeah.
But I liked how Tracy's customer service. The thing is, and the reality of it is, there's only 24 hours in the day.
Yes.
There's not enough time to do everything. In a perfect world, we'd water this, water that, and then we'd go bake. And then we'd listen to this, and we'd learn that, and we'd try this. There's only so much focus. And that's why I do like the Eat That Frog book, because sometimes when there's too many options, too many places to water, we get analysis paralysis. And I can kind of see it. And Corey and I will be like, this baker right here, they're getting really overwhelmed because they're focusing on everything, and as such are focused on nothing. Yeah. So they'll be like, classes, okay, oh, do you doing custom? Okay, what is this, a PYO? I'll do the PYO.
Bro nuts? Or what is those
Cocoa
Balls?
Yeah, what else are we doing?
Yeah.
Sourdough, I'm getting into sourdough.
Yeah.
And we're like, you'll make no traction at all because you're not... What we say is like, okay, in the Eat That Frog book, it's not by us, it's by Tracy something, another Tracy. I like me some Tracys.
You do like Tracy's.
So he says, listen, if you had to eat a frog, if you knew you had to eat the frog today, when was the best time to eat it?
Tomorrow.
No, you have to eat the frog today.
Oh, now.
Right, because if you eat it now, the rest of your day isn't spent thinking about it.
Yeah.
Wild of you to say tomorrow.
I thought you were doing something.
I literally said you had to eat it today.
I was trying to...
This says a lot about you. Where's it 2 weeks from now? If you had to eat a frog today, the best time to eat the frog is right now, because then the rest of your day is freed up. So you can say, okay, I want to teach classes. I'm horrified at the thought. Okay, then then take that. We have a course in the Cookie College. Take that course right now. Oh, shoot. Okay, now I have to make one. There's a course in the Cookie College, setting up Eventbrite. Take that one. Now I got to post it. There's a course in the Cookie College on how to post it. Take that one. And post it. Guess what? You are now a baker who teaches cookie class.
Yeah.
You know what you're not? A baker that's making no traction and blaming market saturation.
I know. Sometimes I see people will be like, sometimes I see people ask for a baker and there's 46 bakers tagged in the comments. I would say those 46 bakers tagged in the comments that are tagging themselves, they want that business. Yeah. They want it. They want it. But if you're like, there's 46 tagged, there's no use. At the end of the day, someone might like your style more than someone else's style.
They might like your customer service. They might like your order process. They may like your photography better.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into. My cousin, Jesse, he wanted this car this weekend, right? So he goes to 5 exactly the same dealerships. They ended up picking the dealership with the salesman that also owned the car.
Oh,
it wasn't based on price. All the cars were 2025s. They were
so they're roughly the same
beautifully
price,
done. They were the Subaru. I didn't realize Subaru does not pay on commission.
Oh, really?
No, you make salary as a
wow.
salesman. So they went to 5 different dealerships and picked the one because they liked the guy.
Yeah.
Not because they liked specifically the car. They were fine with the car. It was sold at all the dealerships. They liked the guy.
They like the guy. And at the end of the day, someone's going to like you over someone else just because of your pure style. Yeah. There's so many different styles. That's why my grandma was like, I don't really like the way your cookies taste. And I was like, you know what? That's totally fine.
Put that to
no, I'll never. It'll be something I cook on my tombstone.
Did not like my cookies.
And I said, you know what? I make the cookies for the taste that I like. I had someone come up and she was like, she was a customer. She was like, I just like the way I could really taste the vanilla in your cookies. I don't make them with almonds. There's a lot of people make them with almond extract, and people love almond extract. My mom, I really love almond extract. I don't love it. That's why I don't bake with it. But there's so many different factors out there. It's not that I saw this baker tagged 52 times. They only like her. The market, she's got the market, and I can't edge in on her. No, you totally can. You just have to put yourself out there. Right. And what you water will grow. If you want to focus on customs, that will grow. If you want to focus on something new, like you're getting into sourdough, you got to give it a minute, but it will eventually grow.
Right? Imagine that you put a seed in the ground, you put water on it, you're like, nothing's there. I'm no longer got a green thumb, guys. No, you would nurture it, you would fertilize it, you would put it in the sun for the appropriate amount of time.
When me and Heather first started our marketing company, I started it unbeknownst
Do you know your anniversary is tomorrow?
Oh, no way.
The day you went full time or something? Yeah.
For the first 3 months, we had 0 clients. But I can tell you 100% we hit that ground.
Every day, Corrie and she'd show up to my apartment. We'd be ready to do nothing. Yeah. And we'd be we're going to write content. Yeah. We're going to go to these networking events. We're going to cold call,
But if month 1 went by and we're like, this isn't working.
It was a little bit in the back of my head.
I said, it has to work, so I'm going to continue working. But if month 1 we gave up, we wouldn't have had the success that we've had long term. It took 3 months to get client number 1.
It took 3 months to get client number 1, and we lost client number 2. Now, client number 2 called me and literally said, "You've ruined my life." And I said, "Listen, I've done a lot of things. We haven't ruined it. I'll get
But
you
if
out
you
of
took client number, this isn't for me. We're out of here. No, it takes consistency, and I know, and it's probably because we've been in the saddle for so long that it's easy for me to say, keep watering it will grow. Oh, yeah. Versus being like, twins, gosh, shut up with your positivity. It's annoying. It is annoying, but I just
that
know
it's positivity
works.
As much as just guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Corrie is the pessimist poster child.
Unfortunately.
It's not positivity. She just knows it works. The crazy thing is, you may think it's market saturation. Corrie and I have now since, Sugar Dot, if you guys know her, she was the OG cookie
teacher on the East Coast.
When you Googled cookie teacher near me, it was Sugar Dot's website. And when we got started, we're like, whoever Sugar Dot is. We ended up meeting her, a nice lady, but she moved to Tennessee. She gave us opportunity to, and guess what? Corrie and I are bored.
Yes.
Now there's more opportunity to take more market share because Corrie and I are leaving it on the table.
Yeah, and you know what? You're like, finally, what we did was we marketed and said how fun classes are. So we've opened up the market to people who are like, I think I really like classes. And now that we've kind of won our Saturdays back because we work so much, we've scheduled fewer classes than we used to, but it's opened up for other people to come in.
So market saturation is, I think, and I'm going to call it a cop-out.
Heather said to a client, we'd much rather have you think there's market saturation than you be the only one in your market. Because if you are the only one in your market, there's something wrong with your market.
Right. I heard that from somebody smarter than me. He was like, if you go to a town, there's no gas station, I'll start a gas station. There's probably not enough people to support a gas station.
Right.
More business, more competition means sustainability.
Yeah.
If there's nobody there, I mean, there's billions of people in the world. If there was opportunity, somebody would be there.
Right.
That's the signal that more people should come because there's more opportunity.
Yeah. I would be worried if I went into our foodies group and 46 bakers weren't tagged. I'd be like, ooh.
It got the hot cocoa bomb. Someone had said this year, the hot cocoa bomb's not a thing anymore. Yeah, and I'll be like, there must not be enough support for the market saturation. Yeah. There's not yet. We want more people. And then, okay, can there be too many of one thing? But the market, the invisible hand of the market handles that too. Yes. People get tired. Drink your
my
water.
Drink is telling me to drink water. I'm back on my water train.
Felicia is very, I think this snake, and I'm sorry if you hate snakes. Can you see him in the camera?
No.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm. Just a rock.
I think the snake likes the sounds
of my voice.
And I was like, you know what? I agree with what the twins are saying.
You're one of the few ones, my friends. You're one of the few ones.
He's
Alicia. Just out of camera. You're just out of there, my love.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we know that feeling a sense of unease when you don't have emails waiting to be responded to. There is an unease, and you are not alone in feeling that.
I would go to that thread. If you had to make one more sale this week, what would you? And I'd start trying out those ideas. Yeah. Because that's what people have said. If I had to make another sale, here's what I'd do. Likely, that's what they think will get an extra sale. If you are saying, I got no sales right now, I got no leads, go to that thread and start practice. Just take one and see what happens if you try it out. Yeah. Because there's some pretty good strategies there.
And I think that's fantastic. And it's better than coming to a group of bakers who don't share your same audience, who don't share your same time in, who don't share your same artistry.
Yeah.
And say, does anyone else feel like their sales are low? You're going to feel a resounding yes. Because people are, oh, yeah, you know what? She said it. Now I'm thinking it. My sales are low. If you take a step back and you say, what can I do to change the fact that I'm feeling this way? When was the last time I checked my insights? When was the last time I tried to grow my page number and following?
That thing, a feeling going off of, I love metrics, and they're so free and readily accessible. So Corrie and I were talking about some group metrics of which Facebook provides you. If you're on desktop, you can go back for a year.
Yeah. And
Corrie's like, I feel like our engagement's low. I was like, well, let's not feel, let's look.
Right.
And I was like, it's actually higher than it's been in a while.
Yeah.
So Corrie's like, oh, that's great. What if we had just gone off the feeling?
And the feelings can be so pervasive because it's whatever you're feeling a little bit, you can really make it shout from the mountaintops by just looking at something simple. Like, well, no one commented on my last post. So the market's oversaturated. They're busy commenting over on other things. On TikTok this past week, I went a little viral. I would have quit cookies because of the viral and how people hated what I did.
Is mean, man.
But at the end of the day, I had growth. Through that viral TikTok where people really shunned the fact that I made gift bags for a 15-year-old boy. That was my kid. I got growth from it. Yeah. So at the end of the day, haters going to hate, but I made $16 off of that video.
$16
I didn't have. But if I was like, wow, look, people don't like that baker's bake.
Let's say we start, you posted TikTok, you got nothing. What if you quit then?
Oh,
where would that $16 be right now?
Not in my pocket.
Right.
Not in my pocket.
But it's that consistency over time. Corrie and I, again, and I say it every podcast, the number one competitor of bakers isn't other bakers. It's their lack of consistency.
Yeah.
And you can out-consistency the nearest competitor.
I actually was in the local foodies group, and I just looked up sugar cookies in there. And I said, I'm just going to scroll through. Every person I clicked on that had shouted out their business in 2020, 2021, no longer in business.
No, Corrie, it's market saturation.
No.
It's not that they quit. It's that they did not quit.
Yeah.
They quit, but they did not.
Yeah. So I know it's easy to get in the pessimistic attitude. I am that embodied. I do that all the time. But what I know even more than my pessimism is that what you water will grow. And that if you can stay consistent through it, the people who are inconsistent, who let the pessimism rise to the top, believe it.
Or who are just tired of teaching class.
Or who are just tired.
You will rise above them.
You will.
Us.
You will. I just remember if we all go back to when we first opened our bakery, we got likes. It was the dopamine hit.
It's like you fought for.
I got 10 followers today. I cannot believe that.
You know what's so funny? I was cleaning up our Eventbrite. I use Eventbrite because I'm lazy. And it was like, do you want to see your drafts not published? And I was like, okay, because I don't keep draft events.
Yeah.
So it was from 2021, 2020. And I was like, oh, I was so hopeful back then. So I deleted all the drafts. And then I'm going to bed, and I messaged Snapchat Corrie because she only lets me Snapchat her. And I was like, oh, we made a sale. Like, it still hit that same part of my brain from that first sale. But when we made that first sale, like, coming out of COVID, trying this new thing for the first time, we make that first sale, and I was like, oh my goodness.
I can't believe someone bought. But we still lose track of that because this uphill feels so good. From nothing to something, oh my goodness.
But from something to something to something, we call that slow. In reality, it's just progression.
Yeah,
It's progression as a reflection of where we've watered.
Yeah.
For Corrie and I to be devastated we haven't sold out of our December cookie class when we posted it yesterday is ridiculous.
It is.
But for me, I can say, hey, my sales this year compared to last year seem rather slow.
Yeah.
Now, I watered in different places.
I know. And you're like, but I always offered customs. But if you focused on posting the pre-sales, and that's the only thing you've focused on for the past month because you wanted to sell out of your pre-sales, that's fine to have sold out of your pre-sales, but give yourself some grace as you turn this ship around to focus on customs.
Yeah.
Because you're not a failure. The market isn't oversaturated. You focused on something. It paid off.
You say, well, I would like more. I would like to focus on two things. I only have time for the one. Then that's when you start hiring help. That's when you start hiring a virtual assistant or a social media manager. But they're going to cost you money. And that's how you grow. I was telling Corrie, I make more money working with her, but I lose 50% of every dollar. But we have potential to make more dollars.
Yeah.
So in a way, you're making less, but you're making more.
Yeah.
And that's hard to do. But you're like, no, I want to keep it all to myself. But you're going to make less overall and maybe possibly be very stressed for it. So you got to do that business thing. And that's why business owners are so different than employees. Business owners are like, if I hire you, I can make 10x.
Yeah.
If I hire you, I lose 50% or I lose 20 cents for every dollar I make, that kind of like hoarding. And then you start resenting everybody because there's too much work.
There's
a
lot of work.
So much opportunity, and that translates to work.
It is.
Corrie's like, I'll teach a class, but you post them. Like, Corrie's was never going to post those stuff. I don't think she has a login.
I think I would have posted, DM me, and if it works out, but it works out.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I'm not going to bake for those classes.
Right.
Those pictures are all taken by Corrie. The copy I wrote, the management of it I do, but the teaching Corrie does. And we meet in the middle. So I can tell that Corrie's on her soapbox this entire one. This is pressing on her this week that
it's not that you can't feel pessimism, because I feel it all the time. It's that you have to have it with a drink of water of, what did I focus on? And if I focused on it and that didn't work, maybe I can be a little disappointed about it. But if I don't dissect it, then I'm just letting the pessimism win. There's no correction there. But if you focus on it, you do the stats, you're consistent, I swear, it's proven over and over again. Me and Heather, the idiots we are. One thing we are is consistent, and it works. It works.
You're a bit more consistent than I am. I said, like, Corrie, I'll start something. Corrie will make us have to keep
That's
going.
a problem. I hate when someone assigns me something because I'm like, this will be on my brain for the rest of my life.
And I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to do that. If you wonder how we started the marketing company, I used to say we could go to the annual twin beach trip, which we're still going. But we didn't work together at the time. And I would say, Corrie, we're leaving money on the table. This marketing thing, she's in car sales and in marketing, and I was in marketing and SEO. And I was like, if we could just do this together, and then the beach trip would end, and we'd be like, see you when I see you. And then one day, I think it might have been in February.
I think it was a March.
I felt like it was cold outside.
Yeah.
And then Corrie calls, and she's like, hey, you know that dream of starting the marketing company? I was like, yeah, weird. I usually talk about it in the summer, but yeah, sure, you want to talk about it now? She's like, it's tomorrow, because I just quit my job. I was like, and then I was like, well, I guess do or do not. There is no try.
We're gonna have to do it.
So then you focus on what you want to water. And that's why if you do listen to that Eat That Frog book, I do like it, because you're saying, here's the frog. I'm going to eat this one frog. I'm going to focus on this frog. Once that frog's eaten, then the next frog. And I'm going to eat that frog. And what you're going to see is each frog is that watering we're talking about.
If your frog is, I really want to teach classes this year, you're going to water that first. And what you're going to start to see grow is interest in classes. But you can't be like, but what about my customs? You focused on watering your frog for the classes. You can water 2 frogs.
But there's going to be a bigger frog. One of them is going to beat the other frog.
A bigger frog. And that it's okay.
Yeah.
And that is fine. And that is dandy. But you can't look over and be like, well, look at my customs frog. It's so small and tiny.
Because you're going to eat the biggest frog first. And that's what you're going to focus on. So Corrie and that's why I like small campaigns, right? So like Corrie said, let's spend February really getting engagement in the main sugar cookie marketing group up.
Yeah.
How we're going to do that. Okay, here's what that would look like. And there's a bunch of supporting frogs to this big frog, right? She's like, we need to teach a live on how to teach cookie classes, do an AMA, do this, that, the other, record the podcast.
Yeah.
Make more content. That's why I did the February freebies.
Right.
And so but that's not sustainable long term. It's the campaign right now. It's our February strategy. March, that's going to shift to something else.
Yeah. But imagine being like, we have to just get it up. But you can be like, oh, I'm trying. Nothing's working. But if we gave it an expiration date,
yeah,
it makes it so much more palatable because you'll be like, we did great in February. A+, did great. And then you can move on to your next frog that you want to do. But if you're just like this ambiguous, I don't know.
Bag in the ever-shifting
working.
wind.
Yeah.
The thought of a plastic bag being on the grill of my car while I'm driving 50 miles an hour.
I don't get embarrassed as an adult.
Yeah,
but that is like
to me. Having something in your car is like having something in your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so when I see a plastic bag, and he's got that big volume.
He does.
He's like unpredictably following the tree.
Every car that's passed by, he's swooping.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. And then I look at my rearview mirror to make sure he's still floating. Because if he's not there, he's on my car. I will literally have to pull him side of the road to make sure.
Absolutely.
But that bag in the wind, which our little sister always says, I feel like a bag in the wind.
Yeah.
She has no direction, right? So she'll say that when she feels like she's lost. That bag in the wind, that plastic bag floating around, he's never going forward. He's never going back. His only lucky shot is get hit by a car. But that is what that baker with no focus is doing.
Yeah.
And they're going to feel like it's slow. And they're going to feel like they make no traction because there's no focus.
Yeah, and you're going to feel like the market's saturated.
Mm-hmm.
But the market saturation has always been there. It was there before you. You saturated someone else's market. But you have to realize as many people are coming, that as many people are leaving it.
Yeah.
And it just is the consistent baker that wins out over it. You don't have to be the best, most talented. Just consistent. Show up for your business every single time.
Yeah.
If there's a sales day in your group, I want to see you there.
Yeah.
If there is a thread
but I
want to
see I want you to test theories of types of content.
Yeah.
I want you to say, okay, let me do a selfie. Let me do a let them in, meet the baker. This one, let me do a funny story. This one, let me do here's why
But listen, that is showing up for your business.
Yeah.
Doing the same copy each and every week, and reach out to me. I can make
Corrie
your
and
events
I
more sweet.
Run her local group. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this person has posted the exact same sales pitch every Saturday.
I said, this must be in their notes app because it's a copy paste, same photo, same copy.
Okay, without saying it.
I already know.
First letter.
S.
The same person. And I'm like, wow, they get no traction. And every week they learn
But you know
nothing.
what they could do? They could go to their local group, like their SCM group for whatever they're in, and be like, no one's signing up. 0 appointments made. But I'm posting every week. Your passion isn't showing. Heather was talking about charisma and being charismatic.
If you have charisma, the world's
yours. But here's the thing. There's so much social media now. How do you show charisma in a post?
Excitement. How do you embody excitement for something you don't find exciting? I don't think you can. You have to be excited about it.
If you're like, oh, my business, it's going to come off to people. When people show up, I really have to be like, someone's coming to the door. I want you to vacuum real quick, and I want you to be
this fun for them.
The most. And when I sold cars, we were told, treat the person coming through the door like they are your first and only customer of the day. And it's because they want to buy from someone who's more passionate about the sale of this car.
It's fun. It's you feel it, and you're like, oh, I'm excited.
I'm excited. Yeah.
I was wearing these pair of jeans. I should have never bought them. Not very flattering on me. But at the principle of the cost that they were, I have to wear them.
Yeah. Right.
So Ashley, our older sister, was like, where'd you get those jeans? Because that's kind of more her style. And I was like, oh, a Ritzy at the mall. They had opened one in Tyson's. It was funny. As I was peculiar, I go there. It's a massive store. Say, hey, can I try this on? The girl's like, oh, absolutely. Let me get a dressing room set up for you. But in the dressing rooms, there's no mirrors.
Wild.
There's one massive, beautiful, stunning sitting area. That's the mirrors. And I was like, that is peculiar. But when I walk out, you would have thought I came from a New York City runway. This girl looks at me and she's like, that's it. That's the look. And I was like, how can I not buy this?
But see,
It's
if you
the
were in
look.
your own echo chamber, in your own dressing room with your own mirror,
like, this looks
I
terrible.
feel horrendous.
But the girl, when I walk out, she's like, so how did you put that together? As if
Yeah.
I'm some like designer.
Yeah.
Myself. She said, how did you even come up with that style? It looks so great on you. And I was like, I'll be taking this home. Thank you so much.
I will be wearing this to the grave.
This will be my uniform. So she was so excited, and it got me excited for something I wasn't going to buy.
Right.
And they actually say that Aritzia is designed that way on purpose to
Which
get you
obviously
out.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. When people bought cars, do you think we wanted to put a bow on every single car that you bought?
Yeah.
No, but the bow is a bow to you because this is the first car you bought all day. We've sold 20. But this is your first car, and you're like, oh my goodness, a bow. Can I take a picture?
Yeah. Jess comes in with the new car, right? And I opened the door, and I was like, there's a little bow in your couple. He's like, yeah, we put a bow. When I bought the Acura, I wanted to buy it used because I didn't want the depreciation to be so bad. But I bought it from a Ford dealership, right?
Yeah.
So this dealership is a bunch of men who like Fords.
Ford.
So, and I bought it out of state. So I'm calling these guys.
Yeah.
Versus the salesman, he's like, oh man, you're calling about that Acura. We cannot get people away from it. We finally had to lock it because we didn't want them touching it. You know, it's just everyone, they walk past everything. They walk straight up to that car and they're like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're blowing smoke up my butt. And I like it.
But if you are pessimistic about your business, it's going to show in your copy. You're not going to run to comment back to people. You're not going to be the first person to comment on a thread looking for a baker.
And then your sales will be slow.
I know. And it's so be like, does anyone else feel like their sales are slow? There's always extenuating circumstances, but you are going to be your business's number one fan.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the only fan.
Uh-huh.
And that's
Not only fans. The only fans.
Listen, my feet.
It's slow enough.
I will be But you got to realize that no one's going to be as passionate about your business. So if you are not showing up and passionate about it, just imagine that other people are not going to be.
I wouldn't want to buy from the sad baker.
Yeah. But I just remember the baker I was when I got my first sale. I was cloud 5,000.
I think your first cookie would come.
Bees. I was like, oh my goodness, I got a sale. Thank you so much. That passion, we lose it over time because we're like, oh, this person keeps going back and forth. The sales aren't easy to make. Well, one, the sales could not be easy to make because we've gotten better, so our pricing has increased. And so now each sale is a cultivated sale because we're charging a lot of money for it.
Now make that experience, match it, and you won't be asking the question next year, why are my sales so slow?
I know. And you could look at Corrie and be like, her sales must be off the charts. So sometimes I have low weeks, but you know what? You'll never see that from me.
Corey's going to say, oh my. I can see Corrie. She's like, oh my goodness. Like we're sitting there before cookie class, and yeah, the cookie classes are fun. But again, it's our 50 millionth one. So Corey's like, okay, look at me. This is their first time. Make this the best experience from them. So we do this like 1, 2, 3. Hey, are you guys here for cookies? It is going to be, and it really does affect how that class goes.
Yeah, and in high school, my family always said, Corey's got a cloud.
I would get in these moods, but it wasn't enough for her to be in the mood. The mood would have to be over all of us.
So there would be a cloud because it'd be cloud forming, and then if you were under my cloud, you were going to deal with my badge.
My mom would be like, Corey's got a cloud. And mom was unfazed by it.
She had to be. So then what I've learned, even though I am sometimes pessimistic, I have to pull myself out of it. And I've gotten really good at pulling myself out of it. Because
sometimes Corey will come over here and I'm like, yeah, you got a clown? And Corey's like, yeah, I'm trying to pull myself out of it. Let's go for a walk. Okay.
So you're not alone. It's not that the twins are on this journey
positivity.
Greatness.
You're not going to have a better lunch gossip than these two.
Yeah, I know. But it's pulling yourself out of it, showing up for your business in the most positive way you can be. Be excited about every single comment you get because at one point you didn't get any.
And that's what we're comparing ourselves to.
Yeah.
The version of us who got no comments. Not the version of us who got a ton of comments in December.
Yeah.
That was guaranteed.
Yeah. I'm thinking about Corrie who didn't have any clients for 3 months back when we started our business. And even though right now the clients it's more cultivated to get them to sign up, I would kill for someone to knock at my door. I'd be like, oh my goodness, an opportunity. An opportunity.
You can't lose that enthusiasm. Every
know.
sign-up's got to be like, hey, great, well, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Short excited.
Yeah. And I find myself like typing like, okay, we can definitely do that thing, blah, blah, blah. Backspace. Oh my God! I've never done unicorns before ever.
And that is the takeaway. So a little bit more cognitive episode, but it is these slower months. We'll get an uptick here in Easter, and then we'll get the teacher appreciation. Then you guys get distracted in the J months because you're out of town. But Corey and I will tell you
if you're consistent,
yeah,
you are going to work through the J months, and you're going to come out on top.
And your Q3, Q4 is going to be hold on tight.
Yeah.
Hold on tight.
Hold on tight. But it is a mindset shift. You're not alone in your mindset if it's a little pessimistic, if it feels away.
Just keep it guarded. Keep it monitored. You can be a little pessy. Yeah. Be a little pessy if you want to. But just be like, okay, that was fun. I'm going to go rise from my ashes and move forward and make sales. Otherwise, you quit, and then I could tell somebody else it's not market successful. Okay, loving the text. Loving them.
Nice.
This is so fun. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 today. 9 chances to win a stupid card tray. Code SUGAR for 15% off. If you want to send Phil a video of you saying you love your stupid card tray and using it in your car with your cookies, you can get a free silicone mat and a couple of
for your stupid card tray.
So I have 9 of these. What's your number this week?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Here's a stupid story in hopes of winning a stupid card tray. I shared it in the Cookie College page, but I thought others might get a kick out of it. I got a voice. Oh, I read this. It was pretty. I gave her a heart, and then I was like, sad face. She said, I got a voicemail inquiry for 3,000 cookie order from my city. They said it was for a big event in honor of their employees. Naturally, I went full cookie commander mode, calculating ingredients, quantities, scheduling bake times, and mentally preparing for how to store all that dough. Yeah. Now, I love my little town of 18,000 people, but 3,000 cookies seemed like a lot. Were they feeding the entire population twice over? Half of me thought it was a scam because you know the internet, but they called me, so it had to be legit, right? Then I took a closer look at the phone number. City of Ottawa. Ah, yes, great, except for it wasn't Ottawa, Illinois. It was Ottawa, Ontario, as in Canada, as in 13 hours drive and a passport situation. Cue this ad from Pac-Man. And this is from Kankakee, Illinois. Illinois.
They don't say the S.
Illinois. But that's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
Kankakee. And I know, email me, Heather at sugarcookiemarketing.com, and I'll put you in touch with Phil. You win the stupid card tray.
Congratulations for your stupid
question. That's a stupidly funny story.
I know.
Could you imagine?
I know.
And then I know she actually passed that lead on to people from Ottawa, Canada.
I want to tell you what I know for a fact, because I Googled it. When I moved to Woodbridge, there's a lot of Woodbridges.
There's a Woodbridge, Ontario that has a cat rescue. Yes. I'm constantly Woodbridge.
Oh, so sometimes people will, especially because our local ladies group is located in Woodbridge, we have a lot of people from Canada who try to join because they're like, oh, Woodbridge, that's where I am. So that's where I always have to think. That's why I type Woodbridge, Virginia.
What's the yellow, The Simpsons? They use Springfield because I think every state in America has a Springfield.
Absolutely.
Could you imagine being based out of Springfield?
Oh, I could not.
Here's another text from Becca. Hi, Corrie and Heather. Your podcast and Facebook groups are beyond helpful, and I have no clue what I'd do without them. Becca? What is a good CRM software you'd recommend? I remember on a recent podcast of one, you mentioned a brilliant sales tactic to reach out to customers who, for example, ordered a first birthday set last year. So this year could say, hey, remember X's birthday was last year. It's probably coming up. You want to make a set?
Yeah.
Are you interested in any set of cookies for their second birthday? So ideally, a CRM would remind me of things like that, but also I could potentially use and start building an email list too. CRM, customer relationship management. That's exactly what it does. I've had use cases with a couple CRM programs, and you got to kind of find the one that you like. Now, a lot of them are big into funnels. You can actually create a funnel and be like, here's where this person is along the sales funnel. Now, for what we do, for what we sell, the Cookie College, that funnel thing didn't work well for me, but it's still a great tool for cookie people.
Absolutely.
Your funnel may be shorter because we're not selling like a $150,000 kitchen remodel or a $100,000 car. Now, I used Copper CRM. Don't do it. Did not like it. It integrated really well with Google, Gmail, and that's what I wanted. Yeah. I've used Nutshell CRM, not the cheapest, but I did really like it. And then I've used Insightly CRM, which is probay the one I'd use again if I had to.
How much was Insightly's plan?
I think at the time I used it was $9 a month.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now what the CRM does, it should link to your Gmail. If you use Gmail, whatever, you could use Outlook.
Yeah.
And every time you email a contact, it takes that message and it puts it on that program under their name.
Yeah.
Within their name, you can set reminders, you can tag them. And now that's going to be uniquely yours. Like these are my cookie class ticket people. These are my cookie class ticket people that I know signed up because it was a birthday celebration. Or this is my customs and it was 1-year-old. Or this is my customs Valentine's Day. So that way I can say, okay, a year from now, who ordered Valentine's Day for me last year?
Yeah.
Here's the people I'm going. Who came to this cookie class I taught with a Valentine's Day theme? Those are the people I'm going to reach out to this year. And then it can start rating your contacts. This is a really solid contact for me. This is somebody that's worth reaching out to. Or you can say, this is a dead lead. I'm going to put them over here. I'm going to remarket to them. I'm going to do cold outreach for them again.
You'll find a lot of people, specifically when my son is getting braces next month. But we've been in the orthodontist's CRM for 2 years, but they've been monitoring. Imagine if I went 2 years ago and then I never heard back from him because he wasn't a kid. Yeah, but today we get a text message, happy birthday, Arch, because it's his birthday today. They've done a great job about keeping that. So Donna is my, whatever the orthodontist helper name is, she calls me. Hey, Corrie, I just want to check up. It's been 6 months. You want to bring him back in and we can double check. Right. I'm a lead for them. It took 2 years for them to actually make $1.
Donna calls you and you're like, I'm going to find somebody else.
No.
You're like, I'm already in it. I like this experience.
Great.
I'm not big on orthodontist hunting.
Yeah.
So I'm probably just and that's what Becca's asking here. And they're great. The biggest misstep with CRMs is not keeping up with them.
Yes.
And then you feel like you're paying for nothing. So you got to almost set it. If you have an admin task day, be like, admin task, go through my CRM, make sure everything's where it should be, make sure everything's tagged correctly and stay on top of it. Yeah.
If you have a customer that's typically, they order custom once a year, but then they partook in a pre-sale. Partooken. That's a great way to your segmented audience. Like, oh, now I can remarket to them because they do like pre-sales. You
can get pretty creative when you have a dialed-in list.
Yeah. I need to work on that. Let me work on that.
Okay.
Put it on my list.
Is it going to end up on my list?
It'll end up on both lists.
Okay, this one says, sincerely brain-melted cookier, so I don't know what the text is. After we cried the tears and chewed our nails down to the stubs, setting up our own website, building a forum, consistently posting things, growing our email list, how? Please tell me how to respond. How do we respond to order inquiries? Thanks, I'll take your money and make the sugar dough now. Do we need to get more info? Do we need to get their social security number, their blood type? Like, what else do I need to say to them? And how do I make it sound like it's a good idea to give me their money after they spent the time filling out the order inquiry? Help. Sincerely, the brain-melted cookier.
So what I've realized over my time of order intakes is this is oftentimes their first time booking a custom cookie set. They're not well versed in it. A lot of times my clients are once a year type people. They're ordering for one birthday every year because it's quite the investment. So what they are looking for is direction. Instead of being like, thanks, or like my husband likes to text Heather, THX.
I hate that.
Thanks.
Do not like an abbreviated thanks.
What I've learned is they really like communication. So let's say they book for 3 months away. Totally fine. We love that. Hey, Heather, thank you so much for your order inquiry. I am so excited to bake this.
There's that enthusiasm we're talking about.
This theme has been on my to-do theme. I'm so excited. If you wouldn't mind, send me some, if they didn't already, some inspiration photos so I can see what you're thinking and make sure that it's something that I can accomplish. I'd be so appreciative. Once they send that, thank you so much for sending that. The next part of this is going to feel crazy. I'm not going to talk to you for a bit.
Like it.
But what I'm going to do is 1 week out from your pickup date, I'm going to reconfirm everything with you. Be sure to look out for that email because I will need you to respond to make sure we are good to go and make sure nothing's changed. And I say nothing's changed because someone did have a baby in that time. So like the gender reveal was like, no, we know the gender.
It's a girl.
So it just helps me and it keeps them in the know because they don't know what's next. Sometimes you contact a small business and I'll be like, what do I do now?
Yeah. Nothing makes me feel more precarious than when I submit a form and nothing comes back.
Nothing comes back.
Not even an auto response.
Yeah. So it's just keeping them in the know. If you find that they're emailing you and be like, what about this? That means there's something on your end that you haven't addressed that you might want to put in your email sequence to them to help out. I'm not much of a conversationalist. Whatever you want, I'm going to make. And because I don't have to put my particular creativity on it to make it. So I'll be like, whatever you need is something that I will make. I will be in touch with you in 2.5 months. If you have any questions between now and then, send them my way. I have an answer. But if we have no questions between now and then, I'll reconfirm a week out. We can set up a date. I'm going to send you a picture of what your order looks like the day before pickup just to make sure you're happy, and we can nail down time that day.
That would make me feel so relieved.
And that's because they need that reassurance.
Yeah.
They need that guidance. They want to make sure that just because they send the inquiry, that feels good, but is the inquiry accepted?
Yes, I
Can
need
you do
a
it?
guide.
Yes.
I don't need you to hold my hand and wipe my butt. I just need you to hold my hand.
Yeah. So excitement,
Yes.
short and to the point. They don't need to know your backstory. Telling them the next steps, setting expectations. Those are the 4 things I would include in your email.
I like that. I like that a lot.
That's how I do it.
Brain melted cookie. I would also get their social and just go spend it.
Sometimes people will ask me like, okay, when can I expect the drawings? Because they have ordered from somebody else. And I'll be like, I'm so sorry. If I were to draw it for you, you would definitely not order from me.
I would say, if you could be the sales pitch here, I wouldn't say I'm so sorry. I'd be like, hey, I actually don't draw. I follow the creative guides that you send me in that. And trust me, you would like how I pipe better than how I pencil.
Yeah.
Kind of make it that positive aspect.
Right.
Now, you folks who are actually good at drawing, you can say, listen, I don't do sketches. We can add that to your order form. It would be a small increase in price, but I'm happy to do that for you. And then make it a sales pitch.
Yeah. I can sense when someone has booked with someone else before and I'm another person and they're like, yeah, when do I get these drawings? Or, hey, what font are you choosing? I'm like, okay, this is a more involved customer and that's totally fine. I just need to set the expectations of who I am as a decorator and help them understand the way that I work versus they understand the way that the other person works. Because if they're judging me by the person that they went to before, they're going to be, sadly, a little disappointed because I'm not so chit-chatty about it.
Right. What's the technology? Yeah, the printer's calibrating, the water bottling. But that is a great one. So, okay, guys, we gave away a stupid card tray this week. You have 7 days to claim it.
Nice.
Illinois. But with the rest of you guys, just a simple text.
Nice little text. And you can tell I haven't chosen the same number. I'm across the board.
It is across the board.
Mid, start, end.
If you're on Spotify, there should be something that's like text a podcast or write the podcast. You can click that counts. Yeah. Or you can do 571-556-5644. If you didn't win this week and you want a stupid card tray, code SUGAR at checkout is 15% off, and that is stackable.
Nice. Tell them, didn't you just... Lord, did someone post something?
They like something or unlike something.
I think you added something to the Cookie College this week.
I did. So the Cookie College is the program, the platform that we use to sell, very charismatic, courses on how to grow your bakery business. And that's mostly marketing and business, but Corrie does some other, like how to get in a sourdough and stuff like that. Again, major focus, making more money, increasing bottom line. One way to really increase the bottom line is by taking cookie cutters in-house with 3D printers. Now, when Bamboo first started, Bamboo printers, right? They only had the carbon X1C,
which was a big boy.
It's $1,200, and I think I did the AMS add-on. It made it around $1,500.
Is that the thing on top?
The thing on top that allows you to have multiple.
He's a big guy.
Spools.
Big guy.
So I bought him, and I was like, wow, this is great, but that's super expensive. However, bang for the buck. Everything it said it does, it does.
Yeah.
Since then, Bamboo has offered a bunch of smaller printers, fewer capabilities, but I mean, we just want cookie cutters.
Right.
Like this thing, I bought like an aircraft carrier when I needed a Sea-Doo, right? So this thing is so. Corrie, on Black Friday, I bought her the A1 Mini.
Yes.
With the promise to the Cookie College, I would unbox it with them. We'd assemble it together, and I'd show them how
much
to
is
print.
an A1 Mini?
On Black Friday, it was $200. Now it's $220.
Oh,
not
bad.
$1,500 downstairs.
Yeah.
$220.
Right. I'm a $220 kind of girl.
So within 20 minutes, it was assembled. Within 20 minutes, we got our first Benchy. Printed perfectly.
Didn't you have an ender at one point? How long did that take to assemble?
How long did it take me to find the multiple YouTube videos to assemble?
True.
This thing is just a breeze. And I'm sure Ender may have caught up. I don't care anymore. They lost me as a client.
Yeah.
I had to use a third-party YouTube video to figure out how to assemble the Ender. This thing comes mostly assembled. All you're doing is removing some support so that it didn't get messed up in shipping. Right. You are putting on the spool holder, and you're booting the thing up and running it up there.
Yeah.
And then we loaded the test filament, which was white. And then we loaded an actual spool of, I purchased Bamboo PLA Basic in pink, and we printed off a cookie cutter. That I gave you, because we designed it together, in that class. So you guys can sign up for the Cookie College. It's $76 a month, and you get that class. But you also get 82 other classes. You also get 13 Baker's Business Basics classes. You also get 190 transfer sheets. You also get 27 cookie class kits. You also get 4 years worth of digital downloads.
Yeah.
For the $76. Cancel any time within your 30 days and you only paid once. But I can almost guarantee you'll stick because there's more than just that. It is the private Facebook group. It's an extra podcast. It's direct access to Heather and Corrie, which is great. But you also get 1,000 other bakers who are in the same money mindset you are.
I know. And sometimes those other bakers have brilliant ideas.
They're in the thick of it. Yeah, Corey will go there and be like, guys, I'm having some problems with
my cake pop's falling off the stick. What do?
Did you ask a sourdough question the other day?
I did. I asked.
Or was it trying to get a color?
Oh, I was asking, one, I'm getting into dye-free food coloring, and there's some dye-free bakers in there that are just brilliant minds at it.
And there's some brick and mortars, which we can't even help with. And they're able to sit down there. This printer once, he's like, baby girl, you said you were going to replace that cartridge 6 months ago. So that is the Cookie College. You can check it out at thecookie.college.com. Can they hear that? Can you guys hear that? That's ridiculous.
I can hear that.
How can you not hear that?
No, that's.
What
does he do? He's
running his updates.
Eating all the paper. And
there's no ink in there. I have got to replace it.
Do you have an HP?
No, I got rid of HP. This was the most recommended in terms of desktop printers. Brothers.
Oh, Brothers.
Yeah, sweet. I gave that HP away. That was ridiculous.
My HP has been just the best thing ever.
I'll never touch HP again.
Really?
Yeah.
I love my little dude.
Ruth Ann has a Canon. I like that one, but I ended up going with Brothers.
Like I said, I love
my
HP. He doesn't do that.
Do you want to be on the podcast? Do you want to speak?
He said, I heard enough of them.
I heard you talking about a 3D printer. Don't you touch mine. So that 3D printer, though, if you were like, hey, I'm not going to sign up for the college. I do want a 3D printer. That A1 Mini from Bamboo, it sings to you.
I'm going to tell you something, guys. Corey's getting that A1 printer today.
Right, he's boxed up, ready to go.
I'll tell you legit if it's easy or legit if it's not. I'm the most.
You need to come from Ender, and you'll be like, that was amazing. Yeah. Look at him. Look at his perfect layering. We got a 1 layer defect right there, but it was pretty good. He was also on a shaky table, and I should have had him on the floor, but we still came out.
Nice.
See this boat turning around?
I'm excited to learn.
It's already set up.
I'm excited to learn the process.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. So again, if you want to join us, if you are tired of feeling directionless, I actually teach a course on Eat That Frog.
Yeah.
I actually teach a course on teaching cookie classes. I teach a course on how to market cookie classes, how to print 3D. A lot of people take my my February freebies 3D printed cookie cutters and they gave them away at classes.
That was genius. That was genius.
Genius. It's, every once in a while, a stroke of genius. I use that one brain cell that we divided in half.
In our April cookie class, I'm giving them a Royal Batch pack, 2-ounce bag.
Oh, very
nice.
Nice.
I like to give away something.
Corey and I, in our April 2025 class, our in-person class, we're teaching the cookie class kit from April 2023.
Nice, which is Easter, which we love. So that one is definitely super.
What's our next cookie class kit drop?
We have a Mother's Day.
I got a preview of it, guys, and I think you're going to like it.
I know.
Okay, before we say too much, move on to the sponsors.
The sponsor, speaking of Royal Batch, it's one of our sponsors. If you wanted to test out Royal Batch, it's the meringue powder that I use and I've come to love. It has white food coloring in it. It has vanilla extract in it. It has corn syrup for a softer bite in it. They have 2-ounce tester packs. So if you're like, I don't want to dive into the 1-pound bag or 5-pound bag, get this tester pack and you can see if it works for you.
Love it.
I also bought the tester packs to give away in class because everyone always wants to know where are you
using.
I know.
Here's the thing. We raised our prices this year.
We did, so now they can really.
Now that we have, that won't impact our bottom line.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, so I always love to give something away in class. So when I found that she had these tester bags, I said, everyone in class always wants to know what meringue powder I used, and now I can give them their own, which is great.
You know what some folks will do in the Cookie College, another great mental space, they sell it. They say, hey, if you guys loved what you did and you want to go home and do this, I actually have some meringue powder available for sale.
Honestly, we should test that.
We should.
A few cutters.
Absolutely. It's so simple.
Meringue powder, some scribes, and see.
Because remember, you can't sell sweet pink olives.
No, but you, my friend,
can make my own. I can make anything.
Eggs.
Oh, I made some eggs for the
Roy.
Feb. If you guys missed out on the February freebies, I made them a digital download, and you can get it through the digital download membership for $10 or the Cookie College for $76. But you get all those February freebies, and they don't expire.
Should we test that out and see if we could sell some things?
I'm sure we could sell something. I'm sure we could just bring an extra DIY kit and sell it.
I know, but if you were in class and you were hyped up and you just made a set and it's cute,
Yeah.
I would.
Well, that's the time to strike.
Strike
Strike while the iron's hot. Strike while the oven's warm.
So Royal Batch is the meringue powder. If you want a discount code, use code TWINS and it saves you 10% off.
Not ever least and sometimes last just because of the order of things. Eddie, the edible food printer, direct to food printer. You can print literally. Corey and I always wanted to take it to class. It's just kind of like
know.
you don't want to take a machine. He's $2,000. You don't necessarily want to carry him around. Like
He's just a little hefty. He's a big boy.
But I just know it would mind boggle a cookie class to see that.
Yeah.
However,
sometimes I bring Eddie printed cookies as the giveaway.
And people are like, how did you get the detail? You didn't. We pressed print. Hey, watch yourself.
Yeah.
Could be replaced.
Yeah.
But that is what Eddie, the edible food printer from Primera, does. You can check them out at Eddie Printers Users Group. It's a Facebook group. Great place to get inspo. Or is it Eddie on Instagram or is it Primera?
I think it's Eddie the food printer.
Go to their Instagram and get inspired. Now it's $3,000, but I'm going to say Corey has paid for it and then some with Eddie printed
corporate
cookies.
orders, yeah.
And we're like, but it's taking the artistry out of it. No, it's putting the money back into it. It replaces the stencil, which is also taking the artistry out of it.
There's oftentimes a corporate customer will have a very complicated logo, and I wouldn't have been able to pipe it without it looking uggo anyways.
Also last minute corporate orders.
Yeah, they've been great. I have people who ask for printed cookies now.
It's a new thing.
It's more common since Eddie's been around for a few years.
Well, it's another option. It's not taking away from the industry. It's adding another.
It's adding another layer.
Financial.
Yeah, for sure.
No code, no discount. They don't run them. We tried. But definitely worth putting it on your wish list this year and kind of earning towards that.
Yeah. Last but not least, the Backers Co. It's the backdrops that I use. If you wanted to look up Mixing Bowl Cookie Company, on Instagram, the lady who has Co. You have my heart, girl. I have messaged you many times. You can see how I use the backdrops, but you can also go to the Backers Co. on their Instagram and see how others are using it. People are actually doing reels on top, which I thought was genius.
It really does level up the photography game.
For sure. And you can save 20% and get your own using the code SUGARCOOKIE at checkout. It's matte, so there's no glare from your camera lens.
You're going to hate glare.
You're going to hate glares, and they're hard to edit out. Yeah. And a lot of people are like, how do I edit out the glare?
Throw it away.
Let me know when you find out. Food safe. It's scratch resistant, so when you put the props on there, you're not going to have scratches, which I have a bunch of backdrops, and that is the most sturdiest of them. And it's waterproof, so if you want to dump some chocolate
waterproof
on there,
or water resistant?
Waterproof.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Nice.
Put that under the hose outside.
Just go water your the way you want to grow, and then water your backers.
Water your backer. So you can save 20% using the code SUGARCOOKIE at checkout.
Wrapping up here. Any twin twist?
Do you have a twin twist?
Yes,
I think
I do. Corey and I, you guys know, my cat passed away. Frank.
How long ago?
Christmas Eve this past year. In the most traumatic way possible. He had a heart
stroke.
He had a stroke. Oh, he had a heart murmur that led to a stroke, that led to a blood clot, that led to paralysis. Wow, just a wild month.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yes.
Would probably not do that a second time. But I'm glad for punishment I'm doing it a second time. So Corey and I are driving down to Tennessee. First time I think I've been to Tennessee, to be honest.
First time for me, I'm sure. I think I probably drove through it a few times, but never stopped in there.
Unfortunately, Corey is my yes man sometimes, and she has volunteered to go with me.
Listen,
so we'll be driving down 10 hours one day and 10 hours back.
I know, a little twin trip.
And then we will have a new fur friend, which hopefully he's cute.
I
am putting all my chips on red yet again.
A little baby.
Are you excited?
I'm excited. I'm sad I'm not getting another pet, but at the end of the day,
Corey's
I have a
husband
cat
doesn't want her. Yes.
and I have a dog, and that is a lot in and of itself.
And this is a proxy pet because you're here
It
all
is
the
a
time.
proxy pet. My dog and cat getting older in age. We've got some sadness that we're going to go through when they depart.
Can you guys go to a therapist before that happens?
I can't tell you. I don't know what it's going to look like. But I love looking at my dog.
45
I'd
years.
rather die. I love looking at my dog. My dog snuggles me, so I can only imagine Heather's going to love this cat.
We will have
and he's
to
going to
see.
snuggle him.
Yeah, this is a younger one. Frank, they said he was 6. Everyone guessed he was like 12.
We have names for you to guess. We're choosing between 2 names. Cash and Niles. If you would like to cast a vote.
Cash is my sister's initials spelled together. Niles is from Frasier, and it's quirky, and we like Niles.
We do like Niles. I feel like Niles is losing out in the family.
Yeah, but it's my cat. I gotta pick what I want.
Can't wait to have a little baby in my hand.
10 hours, bud. Champ.
A little baby in my hand.
But I have a cat toting carrier, so if you don't want to be...
Hot toting carrier.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it works out.
It's been almost 2 years to my cat passed.
This could go off the rails.
Off the rails.
So we'll have to report back on Tuesday. Do you have a twin trust?
Do I have a twin? What would be my twin trust?
Oh, cat shopping.
Well, I've dived it in the world of dye-free food coloring.
Yes.
I quite like it.
Oh, really? Why?
It's very muted.
But because you like pastels?
I do like pastels, and usually I grab for the brightest colors.
Yeah,
you know that's what I do.
You do.
But if you want to differentiate yourself from the oversaturated market that we have,
The oversaturated color market?
yeah, you could go with this dye-free thing. So in the world of sourdough, food coloring is a figment of the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
You don't talk about dye food coloring. You only use...
Well, because it has the word dye in it. I think people can spell it dye.
But sourdough, because it's easier on your gut health, they want to approach it. But there's dye-free sprinkles, dye-free food coloring, plant-based
I think bakers should be... I do think by the 2027 ban, assuming it even stays up.
My thing stopped.
Okay, we got to end the thing.
Bye.
Whatever, that was a great